Before I invite Mr. Randy McLaren to give the welcome, yesterday when I was at church and our pastor, he was discussing the story of Samuel and really the role of the state. He mentioned Armadale and the fact that tomorrow is actually the anniversary, if you call it, you call it that, 3 years since, and the role of the state and the role of the church and the role of parents and guardians in protecting our children, and the fact that even though many of us have tried, we have miserably failed. And so I really believe that we ought to play a greater role, and for healing to start, because we pinpoint certain perpetrators, but indeed for healing to start, we all have to come on board, right? We all have to be cooperative, and this is a working initiative, and that is ultimately what we want, healing. So there's a little, before I welcome Randy, there's a little poem that I have. From when I was a little girl, I have it hanging in my room. And there's actually a song to it. I think I often hear it when I was smaller too. And it's called Children Live What They Learn. I'm sure many of you may be familiar with it. You know the song, Children? Oh, I can't sing, but yeah. So I'm going to share the poem with you, and then we will invite Randy McLaren. He's the Executive Director for the International Creative Activism Network, which of course is hosting the forum here today. Okay, so children learn what they live. If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world. And indeed, maybe in Child Month, and not just because it's Child Month, but what we want for all our children is, of course, to find love in the world. Forgive me for not mentioning some of our specially invited guests who are here today. Just to acknowledge, of course, Executive Director of IKAN, Mr. Randy McLaren, sitting right there. Dr. Carolyn Gomes, Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice. She was here earlier, but she had to leave. And we have a number of representatives. We also have Mrs. Susan Goffe, who is the chairperson for Jamaicans for Justice. She's here with us as well. We have our sponsors, Churches Cooperative Credit Union. I'm not sure if I see them here as yet. No, they're not here just yet. Professor Vereen Shepherd, head of the Institute for Gender and Development Studies. She's sitting, the lovely lady right here. Miss Betty Ann Blaine, founder of Hear the Children's Cry, child advocate, historian, talk show host, politician, you name it. She's here. And members of the media, students. Later we'll get to find out which schools they're here from. And other members of the audience, special invited guests, welcome to this, our public forum on healing Armadale. At this time, we want to have a round of applause and welcome Mr. Randy McLaren, Executive Director of IKAN.
Thank you very much, Tamara. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are we doing? I'm fine. Never had any breakfast this morning? No? I want to so grateful. I saw some of you having sandwiches outside, don't let it look so bad. Alright? Alright. I want to say welcome on behalf of IKAN and our partners, Jamaicans for Justice. It's been quite a journey in putting this event together. Right, and I'm feeling very pleased right now, and I just want you all to give yourselves a round of applause for being here in this initial series. Now, it is often said, and we often say that, the children are the future. I don't know sometimes how seriously as a society we take that phrase, but oftentimes I think it's just a truism and we don't really live up to it. It's more talk than actions. right? And so today we're gathered here to look at the rights of children generally, to look at child abuse, but not just the rights of our children, but also the responsibilities that you have as children, you know, to yourself, to your community, to your school, to your church, to your country. And so we want to look at those issues in a serious way. We want to verbalize on those issues so that we can become more sensitized and we can take the messages from here and bring into our specific communities, yes, and to get the word out. Also, we're here because tomorrow, as Tamara said, is the 3rd year since the Armadale incident, the Armadale fire, which took place in 2009. Right? And it seems that just yesterday, as Miss Blaine is saying there now. But I've been following up the situation, and I just felt compelled, along with the members of IKAN, to do something. We don't have the biggest budget. I'll say this honestly, we are operating below budget, but we thought it was important for us to get started. The situation under which those girls lived, I'm not going to say much about it right now, we'll hear more throughout the day. But there's no way we should have 23 girls, young ladies, living in a room that is supposed to legally house 5 human beings. Yes? That is just not humane by any estimation at all. And so we thought that even that itself was enough purpose for us to put together this forum and workshop to get some movement, get some action going, and to let you as students know that, hey, the system that is out there for you, if you get what they call in conflict with the law, is not necessarily the best way. So if we can impart some things to you, to encourage you to stay away from trouble, stay away from conflict, yes, that would be a success for me. And so I just briefly want to welcome you all this morning. Thank you for being here, and we're looking forward to a wonderful and informative, engaging day of activities. And so please share with us, feel free to talk. Yeah, it's not a jacket and tie thing, so don't feel like, you know, you should feel as if anybody's going to judge you or anything like that. Just talk and make a reason. Okay? On a promise? Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for being here. To our sponsors, we want to pick up Church's Credit Union, the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, Professor Shepard and our team, the Leadership and Student Engagement Unit on the UMona campus. Welcome you all, and thank you for being here, and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Randy. And not just to recognize, of course, the work, the tremendous work that the members of IKAN that they're doing, but also I have to give kudos to Randy, because he did not mention this, but he's also a Jamaica Youth Ambassador. We work together, but his portfolio is vulnerable youth, and one of the things that he's always done is to use his talents, you know, his dramatic abilities, his talents to advocate change, and I think that's very promising among our young men. And so let's just give him another round of applause. So one of the things I like about IKAN, I mean it's IKAN, but very often we hear people say that the ending of the Jamaican, when you say Jamaican, right? What does Jamaican end with? Students? Exactly, IKAN. So basically every Jamaican should know that they can be an advocate for change, and not only just change, but positive change. And all students, all children need to know that, right? Know that you can. And so I want throughout the day that resonates with you, that we all can do it, and as children you all can do it. So right now let's invite Mr. Goffe, the representative from Jamaicans for Justice, and he'll be giving you welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Alexis Goffe. I'm a director at Jamaicans for Justice. As was said earlier, Dr. Gomes was here. She had to leave a bit early, so she sends her apologies and sent myself as a representative. Today is a very good day, and here are some reasons why today is a good day. Armadale happened 3 years ago. We have since had 7 girls who have perished in the fire, 23 families at least, and members of the community who have been affected by this event. Armadale was supposed to enrage frustrate, anger Jamaicans of all walks of life. One commission of inquiry and one really good report later, not much has changed. We can see from the headlines of some of the news this year that supports that claim. There are children still in adult lockups in Jamaica. There are reports that have been made that there are some children's homes and places of safety where the safety measures are not in place, where fire extinguishers do not exist or are not working, and where, as the case with Maxfield Park, one of the fire hydrants malfunctioning less than 3 years after Armadale. There's also an absence of continued encouragement from Jamaicans to put the fire underneath the public officials to ensure that this level of child neglect stops for children under state care. And so JFJ is very proud and honored to partner with IKAN, the IKAN group, because we need more voices. And we're especially proud of this group and to work with this group because it's a voice that is missing, the youth voice. And so we are warmed today by seeing the turnout of our students and seeing the turnout of some of the leaders and the major voices when it comes to children, the situation of children under state care. So we thank Ms. Morgan, Mrs. Goffe, and Ms. Blaine for being here today. And in essence, we want to think of this as a passing down of information, an empowerment of Jamaicans and of our youth. Because as we say, empowerment is one of the greatest deterrents for injustice in this world. Art is extremely important, and it's a useful tool when we want to change the world. And so we thank IKAN for bringing this to the forefront as it rightly deserves. Thank you, IKAN. Thank you, honored guests. Thank you, students. And we look forward to a very productive day.
Thank you, Mr. Goffe. You know, it was Gandhi that said that, be the change you want to see in the world. And I believe that each of the representatives here today, as well as IKAN and all the students here, should believe in that fact that whatever it is that we see wrong with the world and we want to change, let's take the first step. Let's make that initiative to create that change then and not wait on somebody else to do it. But at the same time, realizing that each of us has certain rights and responsibilities, right? Right? All right, so is the representative from Churches Cooperative Credit Union here? No. All right, so at this time, let me invite Professor Vereen Shepherd, head of the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, right here at UWI. Let's make her welcome.
Thank you very much for your warm welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to begin by adding a line to the poem. If a child lives with sexism, she will not appreciate her strength. Yeah? We don't often challenge what we have inherited. And so the past continues to trap us as we seek to understand our present and our future. So I continue by congratulating the International Creative Activism Network, IKAN, for giving up their personal time and intellectual and professional talents in order to, and here I quote from their mission statement, inculcate positive values and attitudes in the youth that will establish and reinforce self-actualization and sustainable development, end of quote. I also commend them and their partners for conceptualizing and planning this event, an event that seeks to keep the tragedy, the atrocity of Armadale firmly in our consciousness, as well as issue what I understand to be a call for action because of the abuses that are faced by the most vulnerable among us. Children's rights, young people's rights are human rights. But if the state cannot lead on this issue, then what signal is being sent to those who are not in power? I recall how traumatized I felt, and I was not anywhere near Armadale when I heard about the death of those girls. The trauma of all of the girls and the state of the so-called home, a home that should have offered care and protection but did not. I asked, as so many others were asking, how come? How come an independent nation that emerged from slavery and colonialism understands so little about its post-independence responsibilities, about the imperative of distancing itself from the mentalities and practices of the pre-independence era? I hope we never ever have a repeat of a tragedy like Armadale, or indeed of anything approximating the Tivoli atrocity that should equally be on our minds in this month. Child Month, Workers' Week, however you spell week, and the anniversary month of Armadale. We cannot continue to be so callous about the rights of our children, especially as we are signatories to international treaties that are binding on states to protect the rights of the child. For example, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. But of course, we continue to contravene that document by, among other infringements, housing children in the same facility as adults and subjecting them to inhumane and degrading treatment. But I think that the state also has a responsibility to educate those who have the responsibility to be caregivers and who work in state institutions that are supposed to care for children. If parents fail, if guardians fail, then state caregivers cannot also afford to fail. But too many have a punitive approach to parenting and child care, treating children as if they are inconveniences, beasts of burdens, or objects to be abused. This is untenable, and I hope that with your advocacy, IKAN, change will come tomorrow. Today, there is much unfinished business. For example, the promised compensation for the victims of Armadale. Maybe IKAN, you can press on the Jamaica 50 people, the organization, the secretariat, to put that in the budget for Jamaica 50, huh? Maybe they can cancel one fete. I want to just say cancel one. I was about to say cancel one party, but for fear of being misunderstood, I said one fete. So I hope you understand what I mean by fete. Now, I understand how difficult fundraising is right now, no matter how worthy the cause. And that is why the Institute for Gender Development Studies, the Regional Coordinating Unit to be more specific, is pleased to have helped in some small way in helping IKAN to meet its expenses for this event. Finally, I encourage you to continue to verbalize, to sensitize, or ball up 24/7, as so many of us would say. But maybe we should also add educate to that slogan. Verbalize and educate to sensitize. Because without culturally relevant education, we are bound to continue to replicate the behaviors of the past. Keep up the good work, IKAN, and continue to spread the word that together we also can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Shepherd. Is Ms. Spencer? No. All right, so we are going to have a little icebreaker before we head into the panel discussion component of today's proceedings. But before we do that, I want to find out all the schools that are here today. So I'm just asking for a representative from each school to just stand and identify yourself, starting with the young ladies right here.
Morning, everyone. This is Margot High School Girls.
Okay, welcome, Margot. Young ladies in yellow.
Morning, everyone. We are the ladies representing the Charlie Smith High School.
Okay, welcome, Charlie Smith. To some young men at the back in blue. You're from Margot? No? Okay. Welcome, Papi. Hi. Welcome, Excelsior. Oh, that's Randy's first school. Oh. Any more students? Any more schools? No? Alright, welcome Papine, Merle Grove, Charlie Smith, and Excelsior. It's a pleasure having you here today. Alright, so at this time, let's welcome Randy McLaren. He's going to give us a poem on Armadale, and then right after we'll be heading into the panel discussion component. So panelists, you can get yourselves ready. Welcome, Randy.
Alright, Tamara, this poem wasn't written as an icebreaker still. Alright, but I'm going to share the piece to get myself in the zone. It's called Armadale, Children on Fire. I don't know if I need a microphone, so I'm going to step aside. Oh, I hear the taping. So I stay right here then. Yes, miss. I had a dream. And in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, "Let me burn." I had a dream. And in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, "Let me burn." A candle burns in every soul. Some burn like wildfire, uncontrollable. No, there's no need to incinerate. They were left to incinerate, thrown into the state. The state. Lord. What a state. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. Wait, who run this place? Junkers. If you lived in a detention where every night is tension just to find someone for us a head pan, John, it's like you're a time bomb waiting. Time bomb waiting. Time bomb waiting to explode. Space run out. Face the hard facts. Hit the concrete with a cardboard box, and there's no room to be discreet. There's a bucket in the corner to excrete. Picture it. Imagine it. Picture it. Imagine it. Picture it. Imagine it. The stench, the heat, pungent odor. Good evening and welcome to Your Issues Live. To the government, manager, supervisor, if you had a sister, a daughter with bad behavior, would you put them to live? Were they living? Proper meals, were they getting? Well, at least they had proper psychological hiccups. Psychological checkups, because they were rehabilitating. Right? You're right. No, the system backfire. Backfire. Tell me who them fire? Burn in the fire. Burn in the fire, children. Burn in the fire. Burnt in Armadale fire. Burnt in the fire. Burnt in the fire, children. Burnt in the fire. Burnt in Armadale fire. Window blade screwing, one officer lurking, children singing, expletive. Hey, good for nothing bad, bro, pitney. Wanna stop nice now? Hey, I want to go to the bucket. Put on your bucket in the message for put on your bucket. Shit. Straight pan the officer, pure. Shit. Straight pan the officer, so him leave. Him come back. Officer, grenade. Officer, grenade. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. Officer, grenade. 23 girls. Fire! 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 It's like hell! Engulfing the matches back to where the children dwell. Hell! The hostile fire draws closer and closer and closer. Inferno. It's like a furnace. Trapped. Helpless. Scream! Charred dreams. The future cremated. Dated May 22nd, 2009. Searing away the flesh of my mind. 7 lives. 7 stories. 7 girls. Burn. Burn, not the fire, the girls them burn. Not the fire, the girls them burn. Not the fire, the picnic them burn up in the Armadale. Fire. But I had a dream. And in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, let me burn. Like the phoenix I will rise from the ashes. Let me burn. No more will I be misunderstood. It's now and only now will I live as all humans should. Let me burn because fire produces light. Watch the hearts of my people ignite. Let me burn. I found a place where I can truly live, where I can truly smile. Fiery voices of Armadale are shouting, catch the fire. Take for the hills, start a campfire. For the Rastaman, bonfire. If a hoorah start a grassroots fire, this is a call, fire call to rescue our children. If they are still the future, let's develop a burning desire. Protect them. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers, 1 grenade.